Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 2 of Artist Critiques. Hope you fellas enjoyed that first episode. The lighting looks a bit different now because I had to chop it up into 2. I wasn't expecting the first video to go as long as it did. Hope you fellas enjoyed it. Yeah, let's dive straight into it. So this next one is from Napier. Beautiful rendering, beautiful line work. I think this was done on an iPad. Whatever it was digital symmetry in there. There is, if I were to critique this, because this is cool, I like how subtle it all is, and I like it, there's all these other subtle things in the background. For me, I'll probably say, this is only a personal preference by the way, I don't like pieces that look Photoshoppy or digital. Like I like things to look like they were created by hand, and what I mean by that is like these power textures, like hand drawing those power textures will add a different element. It'll make it look a bit more powerful in my opinion. I don't know about the smoke background, if it was like from photos, if you just superimpose those in the background. Yeah, I think when you layer a lot of photos, it makes it have that Photoshoppy look, which is, in my opinion, it makes it look less than what it could be, what it could look like. So yeah, probably just changing that power texture, maybe to make this piece more powerful. Let me do this. Highlighting these eyes, or finding an area to draw a bit of focus, because at the moment, it's obvious to look at this, but once you look at, you see this, it's like, having hierarchy. So having hierarchy means like having things that you want the viewer to look at and in which order, and to do that you have to make certain things more obvious, things that you want to be seen, make them more obvious, and then have all the other things more subtle in it, and makes it a more layered experience to look at this work. So see, just adding that, for example, makes it stand out just a little bit. Doesn't do much, but it does something. But yeah, there's not much I can say about this. This is nice, and this one is called Tangaroa. First off, really nice piece. It's cool to look at. I love the symmetry. I love how this patiki goes out past those borders. That's a cool look. Nice colors. Nice use of line work versus more organic koru and wispy looks. Cool contrast there. Now let's jump into some critiques. First off is these. They throw me off a little bit because they kind of don't make sense to me. I think maybe they're supposed to represent water, or I don't know if this is supposed to represent Tangaroa's face, and then maybe it's like Paho or something in his hair. And then this bit looks random as well because there isn't one over here. So yeah, like I've said a bit earlier, making things purposeful. So I would probably leave those out and have something a bit more obvious to read. Even if you just like that, if it was meant to be water, even just drawing water to come out, as opposed to using the brush that looks like that, because it looks like you're using a Photoshop brush. I know that brush, it's a smoke brush on Procreate, I think. And I look at this line and I can see those little wobbly bits in there that I don't think are supposed to be there. Just those little things, make sure that every element of it is purposeful. It looks like it's supposed to be there. It looks like it was well thought out, as opposed to something that you just tacked on at the end. Because I bet, looking at this piece, you did the sketch, turned symmetry on, drew all of this tainiku and stuff, or did the colour, did the tainiku and kōwhaiwhai and stuff, and then you would have did those at the end. It looks like that. And it looks like those bits at the end look like took 2 minutes, you know. And yeah, I think it sort of just detracts from the piece that you've created underneath. Like without those bits, looks cool. They just look a bit random to me, but I do like what is happening here. I do like how this bit of wispy flow kind of mimics the moko underneath. So even if you had just like a bit of that following parts of the moko, just to suggest that there was something else there, even that will make it look, you know, make an interesting dynamic. But yeah, all in all, cool brother, thank you for sending that through. Hope I wasn't too harsh. You know, try not to be don't let it affect you. You know, and this is to all artists who have sent through your stuff. Try not to let it, what I say, affect you. Let it hopefully help you grow as an artist. And yeah, I commend all of you, because this is huge, you know, to do this. Let's jump into the next one. This is from Andrew. He just wanted to know how to make it a bit easier to read, I think. So first off, if that face, you know, you follow their face, comes down into its neck and you can see the wings. You know, I love all these patterns in here. These are cool patterns. I think the cool thing about patterns is if you can keep them balanced and, you know, with their repetition and stuff, they're real powerful. And it doesn't matter what shape the pattern is. If you repeat it and you keep it balanced and even, it's going to look nice, which is what happens here. I like the colors, you know, real bold. You don't need much to make a piece bold and impactful. Now let's jump into critiques. I'm not too sure, because this piece was sent through a story, so I couldn't see like the actual context of the real piece. So like this line here is a bit random. I don't know what's going on, if it was part of a big frame or something. But other than that, let's jump into what I would do to make this piece a bit easier to read. Let's just clear that. I would, like I said with the bro, who was it? Tumai. Just having contrast with your lines. So how pretty much every line is almost the same thickness, other than there's super fine ones. It makes it a bit harder to read what's going on. So I'm struggling to see what's going on. I think, what is, I'm just gonna try. So let's see, that line, follow that around. This is just real rough, by the way. Let's go down here. I think that's a neck, I'm not too sure. And you follow this around to his wing. Yeah, just having a bit more contrast just so you can read the piece a bit easier. And then you could go and then have like a white gap just to help break that up a bit more too. You could go and have another white gap up here. There. See, look, already you can just read it a little bit easier. You just needs that break, so you know that that is separate from that. Yeah, I think it's really just those sort of things, just trying to make it a bit easier to read. Use contrast to your advantage, composition, and try you know, have whatever markers there be the on purpose. So like for example, this line here, I don't know where that's going to, and it confuses me a little bit. So that, yeah, just figuring out what lines are supposed to go to where. Also, this big black area looks a bit funny because there's not another one over here to balance it out. This, looks like a random area. So that sort of just made it a bit easier to read too. But yeah, those are the sort of things I would focus on for this style. But yeah, other than that, cool. Line quality is great. Cool style. Keep going. Yeah, take those things into consideration for next time. All right, let's jump to the next one. This one has a few. So this one. It's from Tijuana, he's a student. I'll just go through and show you all his pieces. He was sent these by one of his tutors, I believe. So here's another piece. It looks like an artboard. This looks like a niho prawa or something, like a whale tooth, carved whale tooth or something. This looks like it may be part of a whai or a stingray. But yeah, let's start with this one, eh? First off, brother, thank you for sending it through. I'm always encouraged and inspired by young Māori artists who are doing moko, drawing ko whai and things, because it belongs to you, it's your fella, so keep doing it, keep practicing it. It helps keep our art form alive, art forms and our stories alive. So let's jump into some critiques. First off, this looks like an unfinished piece. It's a bit harder to critique unfinished pieces because I don't want to judge pieces that ain't fully finished, because I might be giving critiques on bits that are supposed to be actually how I'm saying they should be. Like, say for example here, this bit looks unfinished, so what I would say is I add more in here so it looks finished, and then he might say like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do. So I can't give critiques on those sort of things, but what I will give critiques on is again, just the balance in your puhoro and koru and stuff, trying to keep it the same. Let's do this so I can show you what I mean. Get the right thickness. Here, so if you can see it there, see how it goes thick, sort of thin, gets a bit thicker. So let me try and fix up that consistency a bit so you can see what I mean. Pencil. Actually, let me go back. Let me change it a bit. So this is what I will do. Then I'm not going to focus on trying to make it detailed, but really just trying to get the silhouette right. See what I mean? See how just having that spacing consistent makes it a bit nicer to look at, easier to read. So that's step one. Next step is just breathing room, like I was talking about earlier. It's a bit hard to read all of these koru and kōwhaiwhai and stuff in here, so there's a bit much going on. So that really comes down to just pulling back on the detail. It doesn't have to be super detailed to where all the lines are touching each other. That's the next part too, is the lines that you have. So make sure all of that spacing is good, so I can see that there. Let me make this bit look better. So if I can see what I mean when I talk about readability and stuff. So at the moment, if you were to look at it and you squint your eyes, it sort of just looks like a black space. It kind of looks like that, how that's just been filled in. But if I were to let me just clean all this area up. Just make it a bit easier to read. So let's squint there. So that kind of just looks like one thick line, which is all good. Then if you were to go in, this is just my own style and preference too. It's a bit too spaced out. You know, keep those spaces a bit more consistent. This is probably too big, I'll probably do them closer. But this is just to try and get a point across. You know what I mean? So that's a bit easier to read than all of that. But yeah, like thank you for sending this through, bro. I won't do all of them because it's what I'm saying on this one is pretty much you can carry over with all the other pieces too. But yeah, another thing to think about too, which is I think what a lot of artists don't do is consider every piece that you do a masterpiece. Like even if it's just a sketch. Like sketch on, you know, on nice paper. Obviously if you can't afford it, that's okay, you know, just on the nicest paper that you can get your hands on. And why I say that is because there have been heaps of times in my own journey where I've done a drawing on a real rubbish piece of paper that I thought was going to be a sketch, and it ended up turning into a real nice drawing. But because it's on a photocopy paper, it's not as nice as if it was done on a nice piece of paper. So yeah, try and always draw on the best paper that you can afford and that you can get your hands on. And then every piece that you do draw, like look after the paper. You know, no getting real like grubby marks if it's not supposed to look like that. But yeah, this video, I've probably chopped this up into 2 videos. Thank you fellas for watching. I hope you fellas got some value from this. I really enjoyed making it. Look forward to doing some more. I think I'll figure out a way to make this whole process easier for all of us. Yeah, so see you for the next one. And remember, send through your drawings if you want to get some critiques or some feedback. Yeah, thank you.